everyone, welcome. My name is Pam. I am a guest designer here for Pink Monarch Prints. I am with Silver and Sparkles, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, feel free to go check out my channel as well. Thanks, Anna and Lena, for having me. I love working with your paper kits. So today I have a project for us using the July 2025 Blush and Blooms monthly kit. And what I decided to make today were some ideas for journal toppers. So I get this question a lot is, what are some creative and unique ways or things we can make to attach to the front of our journals? So I've got 3 different ideas that we're gonna do. I've got things prepped, so it should be kind of quick and easy and fun to put these together. Now, if you don't want to use these as journal toppers, you could definitely add these to pages. You could install them different ways to have even, more pockets and things. So let me show you the first one. So this one, I've added a piece of vintage lace and a tall angled pocket. And I added an extra strip horizontally here with the design of the paper so that I could just tuck a couple little tags in. And then I also have this nice tall tuck spot for the front of the journal. And I love these types of layered pocket options for the fronts of my journals. So that's one idea, and I'll show you how we did that. But like I said, you can also just put it on a page. This one was super fun. I used the pocket, or not the pocket, I apologize, the envelope that was in the kit, and it's going to flip down like this, and you can put whatever you'd like, of course, in the envelope. Cute. Great for extra journaling space. And then this is just a tag that when this is attached with the Velcro here, you can tuck something right inside. Okay, so I made that pretty tag. It's basically, this is the tag that came with the kit. I layered it on another piece of paper to make it a little bigger and added a piece of ribbon. So again, easy ideas, but I think big impact. Now this one is probably the most simple, but I used a couple of the pockets, the angled pockets from the kit, and installed them so that we have a side pocket. And then I used, this is actually one of the double pages. I used double pages as the bases, and I just cut it out to make it just look really pretty, and that'll go right in there. And you can put other things. You could add additional ribbons, laces, things like that. So again, some simple ideas, but I think they're fun. So the first thing is when, in most of the Pink Monarch kits, they give us these double pages, which I love for journal signatures, but I also love to cut them up and use them for other things. So I used some of the journal pages that weren't quite as decorated to be my bases for my journal toppers, because then I wanted to embellish them myself. But there's some gorgeous ones that would be pretty just with a little piece of ribbon or something on the front of a journal. Okay, let's do this one. This one is pretty simple and comes together nicely, I think. So I am going to add a touch of ink around the edge to just get where you can kind of see the white core of the paper, but inking is optional. And then there's a couple of pages of these shaped pockets. Oops, that's a tag. And I'm just going to pick 2 that will look pretty on my journal cover. And you obviously have to pick 2 that, are the right direction. Like we can't do this one and this one. Let's do those 2. I like having the little pink flowers. All right. The other thing that I did on my prototype, and somewhere I have some paper, is I picked just a strip. I have some different ones from the kit. Maybe we could use this one this time. A strip of paper to give it just a little bit more of a look. And then I did a fussy cut. I hope I am in frame for you guys. So let's go ahead and get these inked and glued down, and then I'll measure how tall I need that strip to be. And again, I cut these pretty much in half, so they're a pretty standard size, just how they printed after I removed that white border. Now when I lay these pockets down, I'm only going to put glue on this side and this side, not in the middle, because I want to leave it to be a nice big spot. And I'm bringing it up from the bottom just a little so you can sort of see a hint of the torn edge there, of the faux torn edge. All right, and again, just on the two sides. Just want to make sure, because I'm yapping, that I don't forget what I'm doing. All right, and I'm going to line it up again. Hopefully nice and straight. Now, there is a little flap here, but don't worry, because I'm going to set these aside. We are going to add a strip of paper. That is, let's measure it. Let's see, that is 6 3/4 inches long. And I know I want mine to be probably, I'm guessing, about a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna try to just, on my trimmer, it's hard to do these super skinny ones. I didn't want to cut the whole piece at 6 3/4 because I'm not sure what I'm gonna use that for. There we go. Now I have that for something else. So this is going to lay right here. Get some ink. And before I glue it down, let's pick out a fussy cut or something to decorate it with. And I could have gone with papers that had a little more contrast, but all right, so a butterfly is definitely a good option. I think the clock right there would be cute. We could do a flower. How about a bird? Maybe a bird. That pink butterfly is cute too. Somewhere in here is that pink bird that I have not used yet. And she has been calling my name. Wondering if I could do both. I think I like this bird that has the flowers with her a little bit better. I love this one. But for this, we'll use her. Okay. I have a lot of the pieces from the kit cut out and ready to go because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to want to decorate with today. All right, so just a little bit of glue. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to place it where I have a little bit of a edge. And we'll add some ink to our friendly little bird here. And now this is where I'll be careful putting the glue down because I don't want to accidentally glue my pocket closed. And I can always come up under here and add just a little extra. Okay, how cute is that? Now, I did go ahead, if I can find it, and I prepped this piece. So again, this was one of these double pages, and it was just part of it with this fun, you know, faux torn bottom. So I'm just going to show you. All I did was cut it down to the size I wanted my journaling card to be for this pocket. And I'm just going to, and I'm not even worrying about doing it exactly like the, you know, the image, but I think it just turns out really well. And then when you add a little bit of ink, and I didn't print anything on the back, of course you can, but again, how sweet is that? And it's already collaged and decorated so pretty on the front. right there. And then all I did for the prototype is added a little piece of ribbon. And I have this really pretty variegated ribbon, but I think I'm gonna use, like I did for the original one, just a little piece of this rose color. This is the only piece of this ribbon that I have, but it sure does coordinate so nicely with these papers. It was like one of those, if I could tie a bow, very serendipitous, right? It was like the perfect colors for this kit. Well, maybe the 6th time, is this the 6th time I've tried this, is going to be the charm. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. And this one has some nice texture to it. It's not one of those silks, like I have some of those silk ribbons. I think part of what the problem was is I was trying to stay really close to this end because I was trying to use as little ribbon as possible. There we go. All right, so I'm doing this one basically like I did the sample. But again, you could add ribbons in other places. And I'm just going to use a touch of hot glue. And that'll hold that on there. So really the only difference was I put a butterfly in a different, used different pockets and a different strip. Oh, and I did add a word to the other one peeking out of the pocket. It was one of my things I was so excited about with this kit, is I love having some words. So let's go with choose happy. And I didn't cut that very straight, but it will be all right. All right, just have to slow down a little bit sometimes. There was one other thing that I did too that I just remembered on the prototype that I think I liked as well. So I will show you that in just a moment. And it was just, I rounded those top corners so that it just softened it up a touch. But now I am realizing my corner rounder, where did you go, my friend? Here you are, under some ribbon, was hiding. All right, just a touch of ink. How sweet, I love it. Oops, okay. So I like the little bit of the word peeking out, and it makes the person want to pull the card out and look at it. Okay, so we did that one. Super easy. But I love these, and I love having these in my stash. And then I can have a lot of fun making them. Okay, let's do this one. Again, this one is not difficult, but I do really like how it came together. So I chose to use the journal page that has the same pattern on it as the envelope. And I can't remember, I've been playing with this kit quite a bit. I think there was just this one envelope this time. So I've already cut it out and I've scored it. So I'm just going to fold it up and we will glue it together. And I just realized, I did it this way. But if we wanted to, we could have it do something like that. I don't think so. That looks kind of strange. Let's see if it was like this. Yeah, it really is oriented to be this way. And then you don't have that weird opening at the bottom. Okay, let's ink it, and then I will show you how I attached it. And then we'll decorate this one. Now, what we can do is we don't have to install it on the bottom. We could do it on the side. I was just thinking I could have it open more like a coin envelope, but I changed my mind. Okay, so it's going to be like this. I do like adding just a light ink on that. I didn't print the other side, which again, you can make it look a little more finished if you do that. And let's go ahead and glue this envelope closed just by adding glue along those two edges. Now, this is where we have the option. This is how I did my prototype, just like that. And then I added a tab and things, and it flips down. If we wanted to, we could do this one this way. Or, let's see if we like it this way. We could do it this way. Okay, just to be different, why don't we? We'll just attach it differently. So if you want yours to look like the prototype, you're going to add glue to this flap, and then you're going to it's going to get glued to the back, just like that. And you're not going to see this because this is then going to be on the journal cover. But this one, I'm going to decide where I want it. I think I want it pretty much in the center again. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful, turn it over, add glue to this entire flap. And again, you don't need a whole lot. This will ultimately get sandwiched onto the cover or a page. And there we go. And then we'll add a few little things, like a couple little tags. That one's a little bit too tall. How about a few pieces of ephemera? That will be cute in here. There we go. And we'll decorate the front and maybe do a little decoration here as well. So this is our prototype. I do want to, I think, pick out what I want to collage on the front, and then I'll pick out which tab, because there are the whale-shaped ones. I punched a bunch of these out, and there are, let's see, this shape that we can cut out. So we have a few that we can do, okay? I'm just not sure which one I want, and I think it's going to depend on the decorations that I choose for the front, right? That's a really pretty flower. I'm actually looking for maybe another bird and a flower. This one I did a square bird and a flower, so now maybe I'll do a round bird. I really was hoping to use this clock in some way. Maybe I'll get to. Oh, there's this shape tab too. Look at that. So many choices. This is a really cute card. All right. And a whole bunch of the squares that are absolutely precious. Well, I said sometimes I pick everything out ahead of time, and then sometimes I do this. And I kind of play around until I find something. Maybe we'll do this. I'm going to cut it out. This picture of flowers. That way I get flowers, butterflies. And then we'll see about, I want to do the clock, or this clock. I don't know where that other clock got off to. There's a lot of circles. Well, that's another like vase and a little tab. So many choices. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm struggling. Too many choices. How about we do this? Ooh. I wonder, look at me. I'm just going to go completely rogue now. I was thinking, I wonder if I do a torn edge just to make this little bird image a little bit smaller. I just tore off a little bit of his tail. Let's see how this works. I love to tear paper. And so even though this has been like quite a pristine kind of project, let me see. I'm thinking I need a flower and not a butterfly. Now that I inked the butterfly, but we can use the butterfly for something else. All right, what are we thinking? Do we like? I think I like it like that, or maybe even like that. And then let's pick a word. How about, I was trying to go for a kind of a small word. How about keep rising? It's right here on the edge. We'll see what this looks like. I got a little close to the K, so I decided to chop on the G and the P too. And then if we add, I'm wondering if I want to stay with the same pattern. That might be pretty, or I may want it to stick out a little more. The only thing that I'm struggling with is the back color. I love this bird, but it's that kind of cool tone, and this paper and everything is a little bit warmer. And I'm just not sure I like the contrast of that. So here I go again. I'm gonna go back to this bird, and I'm gonna save that little torn bird for another time. All right, keep rising, keep rising. And I am not going to sit here and overthink this. We are just gonna put a rose down. Okay. There we go. That's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna use this tab that matches because I think it's cute. And then I'm gonna put this one, I put a J for joy right here. And I think I'll put a little R sticker there in just a moment. So let's get this rose down. That was a lot to come up with this, wasn't it? I apologize. I'm going to not push it down all the way yet because I do think I want a little touch of the leaf to go like that. Look at that. Looks a little bit more layered. We'll do keep rising. And then our tab needs some ink to help it stand out a little bit. Before I glue it down though, let's see if I have a sticker, because if I end up with a sticker on a little crazy crooked, I haven't glued it yet. All right, so these are the stickers I was using. I think this one will look good. Fabulous. All right. I'm gonna glue it right there. And then that's where I will put, oh wait, I didn't think about the fact that it's oriented this way. So we need to put the tab over here because otherwise we'll be trying to flip it down. Goodness. All right, glad I caught that. There we go. And then glue it to this side. Very sweet. Now, I am going to use a Velcro dot, and I get these on Amazon. The package looks like this. They're the really thin ones, so they don't add much bulk at all, and these are the 3/8 of an inch. It's another question when I use these I get almost every time, which is fine. I don't mind questions. I try to come back over to Anna and Elena's channel and look at comments and respond, I don't get notified when you leave me a comment here the way I do when you're on my channel. Now, Ann and Elena do, and we appreciate very much the comments, so please keep them coming. But sometimes I miss them, and I apologize for that. Okay, so, you know, I could put the little bird there. He makes me happy there, and it's okay. All right. Right there. And then let's see, I have some tags that are about the same size. I'm just wondering if, I guess we could tuck one in like that, couldn't we? That would be cute. And maybe put a little ribbon. I'm going to use the round punch since the top of this one is round. On my prototype, I did the slot punch. But if you don't have a slot punch, you can always just use a hole punch. And a piece of ribbon. I think I even have a little piece that I used. Let's see what it looks like in here. And on the prototype, I glued a little piece of this down, but I don't think that will look good on this tag that I have. I haven't inked my tag yet. Let's add a little ink. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I'm gonna trim the tail just a little bit. All right, so that's what we have. Yeah, they're pretty. I like them. And again, they'll be great on a page or on top of a journal. Now this last one is using from the kit. There is a pocket. I think I have it cut out. I do. Right here. And it looks like this. And we're going to go ahead and ink it. And then this one, I decided to add, like I said, some fun lace and some extra ribbon and things. And then we added that little belly band. So we'll do some fun things. So I'm going to use this page. Get some ink. Again, I like using the ones that weren't quite as decorated because it's so hard for me to cover up the pretty images. I don't know if you guys are like that too. So this way, like this, we'll have it like this. And I am using kind of the warm and cool, but I like it on this one. So, all right. The first thing I want to do is I have a little bit of this left. So all I did was I cut it to the length that I needed. I'm going to try to cut straight, and this is wide, so I don't need all this netting. It'll get all jammed up in my pocket. This part. I hope I didn't just cut it too short because this is the last piece I have, but it was folding over weird. Okay, and then I'm going to just cut it about right here, and we're going to just glue it down to get it out of the way. And then, and I might have a use for this with those little polka dots, so I'll save it. Yes, I like to save things. Okay, so this is gonna go like this, and then this is gonna go right on top of it, and then we have the pocket. All right, now I have my glue sitting here, but I used some two-sided tape so that it didn't get, sometimes the hot glue, I get it a little bulkier than I wanted. So we're just going to use a little piece of this. And you could use the hot glue. It would be fine. Just be careful and don't burn yourself. I'm sure I will use it here in a moment for something. And I'm just kind of guesstimating about where I want it. Don't want to cover up too much of the pretty pattern. And I can definitely come this way just a little bit. Okay, I am going to, just for this side of the pocket, again, I'm going to add, this is a different roll of tape, oops, and this one's a little wider, but it's okay. I'm going to give up a little bit of the space in my pocket, but I'm only going to put it on this one side. It's going to help it attach to that lace. Come on, tape. Oh, goodness. All right, fun. And then I'm going to add glue along the bottom. And I'm probably going to do just a very quick stick of hot glue. And we're going to move fast. There we go. Because I definitely don't want my pocket lifting up. There we go. And let's see, we're gonna decorate some of these, but see, plenty of space, no problem. All right, I want to make the little belly band here. So again, I have some strips. All right, I don't want to use the exact same paper. Sure if this one is long enough. Woo! Look at that. I had no idea it was going to be the correct length, but I want to get a strip of the flowers, so I'm going to trim it off that way, and I'm going to make whatever the width of this silver little bar here is, that is going to be the width. I'll let you know what it is. Let's see, it's right at 1/2 inch. So just a strip of paper, and we'll glue it down just on the 2 ends. So that side. So just glue here and here. And I'm going to put it right above the one that's already printed on the paper. So it kind of looks like 1, 2, 3 stripes. I kind of like that idea. And then I've got some of this fun ribbon that we're going to add, because I love how that looked. Get a little bit of movement. So what I normally do is I just put a little bit of hot glue right at the top where I'm gonna have it, right? And I've learned not to go too fast or too big of a section, because I will get it all crooked and cattywampus. So we're just gonna stick it down as we go. It's hard not to just lay the glue the entire length, but as you guys know, hot glue also dries really quick, you know, as it cools, and you can end up with it not sticking. Plus, this ribbon has this lovely twist to it, and I can easily get it all kinds of wrong. Cute. And this was in a little package a friend made for me. It was so cute. It was like in a vintage hat box. And she put in just ribbons and lace and papers and all kinds of things and gave it to me as a gift. So I'm using some of that. And this is all I have right there. But it was worth it for these journal toppers. Don't you guys agree? Okay, now we will do, oh, here, this is where I used the clock last time. I did a little tiny tag and one that size. And we certainly don't have to use the clock, but it does look good, doesn't it? Kind of like this one. It looks like a keyhole. And then we'll see what else. I don't think I've used it's like a lock. And then you put the key in, right? Maybe we'll do that and a butterfly. I don't think we've done a butterfly yet. Let's do this one. I think it brings in a little bit more of the other tones. And I don't know what it looks like on your screen. It's always strange when I look at, I'm going to be very careful with the glue because I don't want to glue my belly band closed. When I watch, my husband loves to watch my videos, or he at least puts them on, right, on YouTube on the TV. And the colors always look very different than what they do here in my craft room. I'm not quite sure why, but hopefully they look okay and are appealing to you. Oh, that's fun. Fun. Okay, let's find some little things to tuck in this belly band. I think I have another tag this size. Yeah, this one, I have both sides. Very cute. So we'll put it maybe like that. And then I think I have the same ones that I used. I'm going to go ahead and round these corners. I didn't do that when I cut this out, and it's bothering me. All right, so this was on the same page as this tall pocket, and it goes so nicely in there. And then here's a few tags that we haven't used yet that I had cut out. I like that one because you can see those pretty flowers. And then this one gives it just a whole nother color. Okay. And since I have this one cut out, let's put it in there too. Why not? Right? Okay, some ribbons. So I have this that looks pretty, a little piece, that variegated one. And we have this. I'm trying to pick ribbons that I think coordinate nicely. Let's do this little piece here because it looks like it needs to be used. And I think it'll look good. It is amazing to me how sometimes just a little touch of ribbon can make something look so special. All right, my ribbon is fraying. All right, I got it cut off. So there we go. Sweet. Let's do, I love this. This was in that same little box that my friend gave me. Sometimes finding the words when I'm focused is a challenge. All right, we'll use the slot punch again. I wonder what it'll look like if I just tie this one. It is just the right size. Let's see. That's cute. There we go. All right, well, I hope you guys liked these ideas and that you will try some journal toppers or some just layered pages in your next journal. And let me know what you think, okay? I appreciate you stopping by. And Anna and Elena, I just have to say thank you so much. I love getting to craft and create with your gorgeous kits. So thank you for having me today. All right, let me get all this out of the way and I'll just real quick. So that was my prototype and that's the one we made together. And then same thing, here is the prototype and the one we made on camera. And then this nice simple one. I love the way that pocket looks though, don't you? All right, I hope you guys like it. Have a great day until next time. Thanks for watching.